This week on the Virtual Skeptics, Bob has a mustache. That's news, apparently. He calibrates for paramagnetism. Barb slimes us. Tim's got something to do with the backspace, hacking or something. I don't know what's going on here. I'm your host, Brian Gregory, and I'm depressed about the Republicans.
Wow, way to bring us
down. That there.
Yeah. Let's just start with the depressive stuff.
No, we're gonna be happy now because we got a good episode planned, and if you're watching, great. It's gonna be good. Trust me. I know. I've seen it. We've already done it once. We have a practice, do it. Oh, never mind.
The dress rehearsal was great.
Yes, the dress rehearsal was fabulous. Okay, so let me introduce the crew. First up, this guy, Bob Blaskiewicz, CSI's conspiracy guy, web columnist, blogger for Skeptical Humanities, and Skepticality contributor. And then Siebert, editor and blogger at Skeptical Humanities, and contributor to Skepticality and Insight, with no S, at skeptic.com. Barb Drescher. Did I say it right? Former psychology instructor, blogger at ICBS Everywhere, and contributor to numerous skeptical projects, including Insight, with no S, at skeptic.com, and The Odds Must Be Crazy. And finally, Tim Farley. Trust me, that's him, even though he doesn't have a name tag. Blogger at SkepTools and Insight, with no S, at skeptic.com. Is Skepticality contributor, creator of What's the Harm, and former JREF fellow. Hey, everybody, how you doing?
There really should be only one S.
Only one
yes.
S. Yeah.
Otherwise, it just becomes Insight.
There's an S in
or
the
inciting violence.
Should I say without an additional S? Because it's kind of hard
Not
to say.
Insight
Every time. Yes.
Oh,
Or just say
man.
insight.
Insight. Can I emphasize the T? Yes.
Yeah. Sure.
Okay, if you're watching, I'm sorry for all the grammar talk. I'm always sorry about something. But if you want to participate, you can post on Twitter with hashtag Virtual Skeptics. You can comment on the
That's
YouTube.
scat.
Huh?
No.
I hope not.
Is it scatological?
No, that was a previous episode, which we don't want to make Barbara laugh again. She was kind of awkward.
Yes, we do.
Yes. So.
And it came back to her. She just remembered it. Okay.
I suppressed the laughter long enough.
Okay. So as I was saying,
it kind of builds on itself,
It does.
The pressure builds.
The pressure builds, yes.
It does kind of. Okay, so Twitter hashtag Virtual Skeptics, comment on YouTube, or Q&A. You can do the Q&A. No one ever uses the Q&A, correct? Is the Q&A working? It looks like it's working.
Yeah.
Ask a question, and we will tag it. Because you see, the thing is, the way the QA works, if you put a real question there, we can tag it while we're answering it, so that people can find the answer based on the tag in the video. So that would be very helpful if we actually got questions and worked that way. That would be really cool. So who's first? Oh, we got to do the trivia question.
Oh, yeah.
We got a trivia question. Tim, you got a trivia question?
Yes, I actually composed it well prior to the show for once.
Yay.
She died a year ago, roughly. Sylvia Brown.
I thought that was a song title.
Well, that was that.
Infamous
that was my
psychic
guess.
that evil
She
Siebert.
died a year ago.
What was the name of her spirit guide? She had a spirit guide.
John Lennon.
And that spirit guide
No,
had a name.
It was
wasn't.
John Lennon.
John Lennon.
No, that's not it.
Lecithin.
And you can't play.
I can't play? Okay, fine. So there's the trivia question. It'll go out on Twitter, so if people aren't watching yet, they can chime in later. If you answer first with a T, no extra S, then we will think that you're awesome for like a few seconds. Also, the secondary quiz, which we do every week, is I have two screens behind me, which you can't really see. They're just kind of blobby things. But they're both playing videos that you should probably be able to figure out if you know a few things. So, if you guess them both, we will also think you're awesome for a little longer than a few seconds, because that's my thing. So, is that all the startup stuff? That's all the startup stuff. And there's people chiming in already.
Officially started up.
Yay! Eve is going first this week.
Woohoo!
Woohoo!
Well, exciting news.
No mustache.
Scientists in Royal Tunbridge Wells, Kent, England, have made an important discovery, according to a story in the Kent and Sussex Courier. They have found a plague pit underneath the town center park. If you could bring up the first slide, this shows...
Oh, a plague. No.
Yes, this shows the three eminent scientists. As you can see, the gentleman in the foreground is wearing what appears to be a properly professorial jacket.
Mm-hmm.
But eagle-eyed, skeptical
No
viewers may notice that something's not quite right. There are no elbow pads on the jacket.
I just said that.
I noticed that. Yeah.
Immediately. Yep.
Also, they're all waving dowsing rods. So, yay.
Those professors, they're always waving their rods around.
Yeah.
Someone had to say it.
No, I'm not.
I've gotten written up for that so many times.
Yeah.
I was preempting Bob.
Emerita virtual skeptic Sharon Hill dubbed this the year's worst story on dowsing on Doubtful News.
Which means something, yes.
Yeah, and it really is breathtaking in its awfulness. The dowsers are referred to unironically as scientists in the article.
Without
so
quotes.
here's what happened. They wandered around in the park with their sticks, and according to researcher Don Hocking of Hertfordshire,
Hawking?
Hocking, H-O-C-K.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, not that one.
Oh.
Not related to that one. Quote, we found lots of grave sites, and we found one mass grave or plague pit. This is a place where the bodies of those who died of the plague were dumped. I'm not sure what plague it was, but the main plague was about 1660. It's not very surprising. There must have been a lot around. The plague took out half the population. Well, wait, there's more. Quote, we found where there would have been a skirmish between Normans and Saxons, and we found the presence of old walls. I don't know what the wall would have been about. It could have been encircling a graveyard, unquote. So, you may be asking, how did they confirm their finds? Don't be silly. Dowsing does not require confirmation. Hocking says, we don't dig. Archaeologists like digging. We are not archaeologists.
No kidding.
Duh.
And
we
forgot
are
to bring our
always
shovel.
trying to refine the science aspect because it is a scientific thing, although not universally regarded as such. So again, they wandered around with their sticks, said, there's a plague pit, there's a Norman Saxon skirmish, then went home, made tea, and alerted the press. But how does it work? And assuming that it does work, how do they know it was a plague pit without actually, digging it up? Or that a skirmish happened nearly a millennium ago that wouldn't necessarily leave much evidence in the ground? That's an interesting question. And the answer is pure, unadulterated schmiance. Ready? Here it goes.
Schmiance!
Yes.
Somebody needs to make that a meme. Do it now.
The body, this is, you might want to take notes.
Yes.
Okay, ready?
I'm ready.
The body is sensitive to magnetic fields, and the kinds we respond to in this regard are called diamagnetic fields and
Wait,
paramagnetic fields. It doesn't really matter.
Like Matic?
And the body responds autonomously to the presence of these fields, and particularly to discontinuities in fields where you get a step or a change in direction or a change in magnitude. I'm not good with science. I have no idea.
I got to change them.
But to return, we are the equipment. The human body is the
Well, you're a
equipment.
tool.
And it responds, and we use something to indicate that the body has responded, and in our case, we tend to use rods which swing when the body responds to fields. Then we mark what we have found and go through the whole process. marking
Oh,
everything
probably some other way.
as we go. They have little flags, I think. Marking everything as we go, and build up a picture of what there may be underneath. Great. So apparently, depending on the paramagnetic resonance that they get, they can tell if it's bone or wheels or something. And that the people died of plague. It's a good thing, though, that he's better at science than at history.
The green flags are for plague.
No, the green flags are for cable.
Oh.
The green flags are for
gas
loading
line?
and unloading only.
Or they're
The
full of
main
gas.
plague that he mentions that took about half the population was not in 1660. That so-called Great Plague was nothing compared to the Black Death of the mid-14th century, and there, controversy about how many it killed, but that's the one that if it would have killed close to half. Also, the plague he's talking about is actually called the Great Plague of London, because, and you'll never guess why it's called that.
The Clash?
Because it happened in London and not 40 miles away in Tunbridge Wells. Also, it happened in 1665 and 1666, not 1660. But other than that, he's totally on the mark. Yeah, and then there's the Norman Saxon skirmish thing, which I don't get at all, but whatever. Still, if they're so good at dowsing that they can not only find human remains, but also divine what killed them, maybe they could be used to test people who may have been exposed to Ebola. Like, send them out to Africa with the homeopaths.
Or to
maybe
airports.
that's-
Dowsing for
Yeah.
Ebola should be a band name.
Yeah. Okay, maybe that's not a good idea.
No?
However, no, the band name, that's fine. Actually, having them try to
Hurt my feelings.
diagnose someone, that would probably be a bad idea.
Yeah.
But while the article may be horrendous, there is a good point about it. And that is the comments at the end. There's only 3, but they're all critical, to put it mildly. And one from J. Ram is pure gold. The next slide actually shows up. You probably won't be able to see it very well, but what it says is, wow, just wow. Really now? Words, no words. I can't express without expletives how amazing this article is. Just wow. Oh, so much science, it hurts. What the hell? So yeah, anyway, did I mention that I found a troop of unicorns in my back garden yesterday? Yeah, I poked at the air with my crystal magic stick, and the magno-resonant Boswellox rays
Boswellox rays.
comes back in such a truly sciencey way that I'm scientifically sold to a verified significance of .001. Yeah, playing with the big dogs now. That unicorns live there. Oh, and it's an Indian burial grave too.
That explains the unicorn presence, yes.
Anyway, mustache, I've got some toxins to recce out of my carpet with a vial of water which has been banged against a Bible to make it God or something. Consider this my application to be a sciencey journo for the Courier, yeah?
Yeah.
Sure.
So, I mean, the horribleness of that article, the irresponsibility of that article, actually calling these doofuses scientists, that comment almost makes up for it, really. And that's it.
I agree.
Wow.
That's 6 Sigma stupid is what that is.
No words. Basel wax rays.
Yeah.
See, I have to write this stuff down. This is good.
Yeah.
This is gold. This is pure awesome internets. Thank you.
If you want to do the science, you're going to need
you're
this.
gonna need a beeswax or whatever.
Yeah.
Okie dokie. Thanks, Eve. That was both interesting,
informative.
sad, and humorous at the same time.
Hilarious ad.
Hilarious sad. Yes. So.
But you could have told that they weren't professors just from the picture, and that would have been enough.
That's true.
Yep.
It was the lack of elbow pads that gave them away.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And it's a good thing if they had that sign. Otherwise, there's no way we would have known that they weren't actually doing science.
None of them were holding a pipe either.
That's true.
That's true.
No pipe, no shoulder pads.
Kind of hard to do that in
And
Dallas.
where were their mortar boards? Come on. And their choir outfits or whatever.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, so I get to go next. Where's my music?
It's Brian.
There it is. Not the music. It's.
Again.
That's right. It is time to learn about the incoming doom of humanity. From
Did you beatbox the Terminator theme?
It's like, no, actually that was scat. What was previously but that was scat. So here is a picture of my thumb. No, it's not my thumb. Can you see the two dots?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
There's little dots there. Apparently,
World's
that
smallest
is
googly eyes.
it could be. No, that is a robotic micro scallop.
No way.
Yes. Way.
Why?
Way.
I thought it was a gigantic finger.
It is a finger, but on the finger is I guess the scallop can play a little fiddle. I don't know. Yeah, no one gets that joke. I'm old.
Zoom.
So this is a research project being done by the Max Planck Institute for Intelligent Systems in Germany, which is the best name for an institute ever. Professor Peter Fischer is leading a team trying to research making tiny little machines that can move around in various ways. There's a lot of research projects right now trying to build tiny machines. We've come a long way with our ability to build things very, 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 very small. Unfortunately, the technology is still new, and our ability to build stuff is only like very, very, very simple things, like the word "hi" or something like that imprinted on a plate in atoms, or little tiny things we can move around with magnets or with small bit electrical pulses. This was something what they did is they 3D printed a mold, and they molded plastic material in it with little magnets, and they can manipulate this thing with a magnetic field in a fluid and have it squeeze up and like swim like a fish. But it's got a caveat. See, apparently when you get down to really, really small, water doesn't work that way. You can't really move around the way a fish does in water when you're really, really tiny. You need some other form of locomotion. So they sidestep the problem, and they're using non-Newtonian fluids. So if you don't know what a Newtonian fluid is, it is a liquid of some kind or something liquid-like that the viscosity changes. Yeah, the viscosity of it changes depending on how fast something moves through it.
Yeah, they did it on Mythbusters.
Yeah.
Adam ran across the top of the tank, but if you step into it, you could go. But if you
you've probably seen videos of people filling pools up with cornstarch and then running across them like they can walk on water. Yep. It's similar to that. Apparently, most of the fluids in the human body are something like this. They have some kind of viscosity that changes depending on what's going on. And if you're in some kind of fluid like that, you can take advantage of it with your locomotion method if you're something a little tiny and use it to move around. So the intention is to try to figure out how to make a tiny machine that you can actually move around inside of a body. And the example they give here in the article is swimming in eye fluid. So picture that right now.
Let's not.
A tiny robotic
Floater.
scallop swimming in your eye.
Can we get a better image of that? I can't see it. It just looks...
You have to get closer.
It'll get in your eye.
So this is a research project. It's a long ways away from doing anything practical. They're just trying to explore different ways of doing crazy stuff like this.
Isn't it big enough to be an irritant in the eye?
Yeah, the example shown there in that picture is quite. I mean, it's big enough to be like a speck of dust or something you get in your eye. And I don't know what plastic it's made out of. Maybe it's made out of something that's deliberately, I don't know. It doesn't have a problem with floating and sailing. We probably can't. I don't know. I don't know. Magnets in the eye, magnets. How the fuck do they work? That could really put your eye out. You put your eye out with that. Okay.
Diamagnets in your eye.
Yes. Paramagnetism in your eye. With the dowsing rods just don't fit. So there's that too. No. It's a cool project. I'm gonna link to it in the notes. There's a lot of neat work with tiny machines right now, and this is also one that's organically inspired, which is another cool thing about it. Next.
This was organically inspired.
Yeah, not something in your eye that would drive you crazy or creep you out. This.
Aww.
It's a cute little baby robo penguin.
And the other little baby penguin is looking down to see where
I
its
know.
wheels are.
I don't have wheels. I feel
It looks like a little penguin in a wheelchair.
No. Apparently, there's an article. It's been actually a study that's been posted. I'm looking for the periodical here because I don't have it in my brain. Okay, there was it. I'll find it in a minute. Apparently, researchers have been using robots for years to get close to animals in the wild. There's a lot of biologists that study colonies or groups of animals in the wild. They tag them and check their movements. They count their population, stuff like that. But animals in the wild, they don't really like humans. Sometimes wandering around in their colonies or getting close to their babies. It kind of pisses off some penguins in particular. Like they were mentioning emperor penguins, which are very shy. They don't like humans being around. But we still want to do this research stuff, and we still want to tag them and track them and stuff like that. So since robotic, off-the-shelf remote control cars and various other kind of robotic platforms, the hobby stuff is so cheap now. You can just throw together something and remote control it, put a camera on it, and in this case, make it look like a baby penguin, and drive up there and do like they can read the RFIDs on their tags. They can nice up close video of animals, and the point is that the animals don't react to the robots, and that's great for research, and it's really kind of a cool thing for research. You're getting a lot of up close and personal type video and stuff about animals without them being influenced by our presence. But do you think they know something?
The robots?
Up.
No, the animals.
Well,
They're scared of humans, but they're not afraid of the robots. What is wrong with that?
Actually, they do react to the little baby penguin robot, but it's not negatively. One of the articles I saw said some of the adults were vocalizing at it. They think they're trying to set up the baby penguin with their baby penguin as a potential mate.
Play dates.
and they seemed disappointed when the baby penguin with wheels didn't respond because they haven't made one that vocalizes.
Okay, so you're just saying they're too dumb to know that they're doomed from robots coming to take over and kill them all.
Well, have you seen the pictures of where it's in the middle of like a baby penguin?
Yeah, it's like
Cuddle huddle?
It's cuddling. It's cuddle huddle with the So they like the fake penguins. That would creep out a human.
Put a little
There's a
baby
robo
on wheels.
baby come up, wheels up the kindergarten class, and They're just like, what's that?
Babies would like it.
Well, little babies maybe. They would probably put it in their mouth.
Hmm.
And as long as it doesn't hurt them, they like pretty much like anything. So yeah, I was just it struck me that the animals know something we don't. So
Or
there you
don't
go.
know something that we do.
And plus, that's adorable. That's the cutest thing ever.
It is
Yeah.
the
Very
cutest
cute.
little
We're
robot
done now.
we've seen for a while.
Yeah,
It's no keep on, but it's
No.
close. It's freaking close.
Did you see Eric's comment, Brian, on Twitter?
Happy Feet, the Fast and Furious. Yes. that's nicely done, Eric.
The fastest
Very
what?
nicely done.
The Fast and the Furious.
Fast and the Furious. Happy
Crossed
Feet.
with Happy Feet.
Yes, that's exactly what we're looking at there. One more quick, and this is in the realms of eventually defending ourselves from the machines. Apparently, China has a something called what's it called? It's called LAS, a Low Altitude Sentinel System. It's a laser that shoots down drones. This thing apparently can target drones. This is for shooting down small drones, like surveillance drones, within a 1.2 mile radius, under 1,600 feet, and less than 110 miles per hour. So slow moving, close to the ground, small things, but it can laser them out of the sky. I'm assuming it uses some kind of heat or whatever, just fries them. But there's not a lot of details, because it was in a Chinese newspaper and then republished on Sky News. It's interesting because the prevalence of drones and them being used for surveillance. There was actually an article last week about drones being seen around French nuclear reactors that were of unknown origin. These are like off-the-shelf hobby drones with cameras on them. Someone's doing surveillance. It would be nice to be able to just pop those things out of the sky or keep them away from certain areas pretty easily. But from my point of view, I would mount a couple of these on my roof just in case Amazon wants to deliver something.
Pew pew.
Just knock them
So
out.
so how does it take it out?
There are no technical details of this thing online, and that makes sense because it is China. Yeah, so it says it uses a laser.
So melts it, presumably, or?
I mean, it would be very easy. There's a lot of military lasers out there that could very easily fry one of these small plastic things out of the sky,
Yeah.
and easily target them. So it's not really a huge leap in technology, but still, it's a concern. So protect your home. Install a Chinese drone laser. There you go. And that's what I got this week. Who's next? Any questions? Any more comments? Anything funny? Tim's next. What you talking about, Tim? Apparently, your the backspace key is.
Yeah. Apparently,
hacking.
the backspace key is an important hacker tool.
Well, I mean it is, but
This was
not the way you think.
This was a story on the political blogs the last few days, and the only reason I got interested is because it's hacking stuff, but also because this particular reporter that's involved, if you put my first slide up, is known to skeptics. This is Cheryl Atkinson. She used to work for CBS, and if you read Orak's Respectful Insolence blog, you have probably undoubtedly seen a comment about her because she used to write health articles for CBS out of Chicago, I think. Or maybe I'm mixing her up with someone else. But anyway, she was very anti-vaccine. And anything old Andrew Wakefield put out, she ate it up. And she just did a lot of really bad pieces about vaccines and autism and the vaccine court and stuff like that. So skeptics knew she was a hack journalist. Well, she quit CBS a few months ago, and now she's gotten involved in kind of political stories. and she's very into the Benghazi story and all that, which I'm not that interested in. But she's got this week there was a bunch of stories. She's going around to the various talk shows and talking about how the government is hacking her laptop because the story she's writing about Benghazi is so important that the NSA needs to hack right in. Right? So there's apparently, according to people who have seen the book, it just came out yesterday, that...
Oh my God!
Yep.
It's just, I've been building.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yep.
That she claims she has all this cloak and dagger stuff, how she had to meet a security expert at a secure, undisclosed location and all this stuff, and he analyzed her machine and da-da-da-da-da. And then in the process of doing all this promotion this week and getting on HuffPost Live and various talk shows, she released a video which showed the hacking going on. Now, a lot of people pointed out problems because she initially said the hacking started in the end of 2012, and the video was from September 2013, which raised the question, if you knew you were hacked in the end of 2012, why did you still have a laptop that was connected to the internet at the end of 2013? And I'll show you.
To be fair, she's clearly an idiot.
Right. Well, if you go to the next slide, I won't try to show the video because it was on, I don't know, political. It wasn't an easy video to embed, and I didn't want to get into copyright issues. But this is the video, a screenshot from the video, and it's basically Microsoft Word on a Mac, and you see the cursor flying around. And Media Matters called their own security expert, and he said, that looks like the backspace key is stuck. That basically, if you just jammed the backspace key down, or if you've had computers, you know that occasionally sometimes a key will get stuck and it'll act as if you're holding the key down when you're not actually doing anything. And
clearly, she eats her muffins in the morning over her keyboard.
Right. Well, the funny thing is she claimed this was. I think she made some uncertain claims about when this video was, and you notice there's a TV on in the background. Some clever person on the net listened to the audio very carefully that was coming from that TV and looked at the brief shots you saw of the TV and figured out the exact episode of Dancing with the Stars that she when she recorded this video of all this backspace activity going on. And therefore dated the video. And then she said, oh, no, that was September of 2013. And then Crooks and Liars pointed out what I just said a minute ago, which is if you thought you had been hacked in December of 2012, what the hell did you still have a computer connected to the internet in September of 2013? Why didn't you have security protocols in place? Like if you read anything about the Snowden stuff, the folks that deal with Snowden, like Glenn Greenwald and Laura Poitras, have these elaborate procedures where the computers that have the Snowden documents are never connected to the internet, and they encrypt all their emails, and they just basically do all these different procedures that are very careful so that they can't get hacked. And this is known stuff. Anybody who deals with national security stuff, especially since the Snowden stuff, which admittedly happened in June of 2013 between her two incidents. But even if you followed the WikiLeaks thing, you knew about all this stuff. So apparently she's gotten so much crap from Crooks and Liars and from MediaMatters.org that now in her interviews like yesterday and today, she's starting to back off and say, well, maybe I was having technical problems and I wasn't really, those weren't really me being hacked. But my experts still examined my computer and told me that I had been hacked. For sure. Except the problem is she won't name any of her experts. She uses pseudonyms. One of them she doesn't identify at all. The other one she identifies with a pseudonym. Media Matters identified their security experts. And that was an interesting thing for me because I work in the security industry, and I'll tell you, people love to brag about consulting on jobs like this. You know, they love to get publicity in the security business. So I don't know why a security expert who looked at her laptop for her would want his name left out of the book.
Yep, this security expert is actually her brother-in-law.
Right, yeah, it's entirely possible she
Owns
found
2 computers.
somebody who claims to be. Well, anyway, of course, the whole thing, if you go to the next
Settling.
slide, I tipped it in saying, is the whole reason we're hearing about all this is she's got a new book out.
Of course.
And it's all promotional stuff for the book, and it's all cloak and dagger, and the government is after her, conspiracy theory, and it's, you know, it's the crank magnetism thing. She believes that vaccines cause autism, and then weird stuff starts happening, so of course the government's after her and are trying to hack her, and, you know.
You know what's interesting about that?
Crank, always a crank.
You talk about her being anti-vax and so forth, which tends to be associated with liberalism, and yet this book is clearly being marketed
Yeah.
to conservatives.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's clearly, well, and I don't know if that's a part of the theme of the book is that she detected a liberal bias in her overlords at CBS, and that was why she quit CBS, and part of it had to do with the whole Benghazi story. And so, of course, she's getting a lot of press. All the right-wing press, the Fox Newses and the Glenn Becks and whatnot, are eating her up and repeating this hacking story verbatim without questioning it, and it's left to the other sites to say, wait, you were hacked, what? Who was your expert? And none of it holds up when you actually look at it. And it's just the classic thing that anybody who works in security knows, that as soon as people learn about viruses and hackers, it becomes the default excuse for everything. You know, my document disappeared. I must have been hacked. So I just thought that was a funny story, and I had to do it on the show. So that's what I got.
Yes. That is kind of funny.
And don't buy her book.
Yeah.
Don't buy her book.
No problem there.
I don't think it's something we're going to run out and get. I don't like books with white covers.
That's an interesting rule.
I'm just being silly. Barb.
What about women or people standing there looking smug at you from the cover?
No, I usually buy those because, you know, half of my friends do
I
that.
try to stay away from anything that looks incredibly narcissistic.
Yeah.
I may say something about my friends. Barb is up next.
I am? I thought Bob was up next.
No.
No?
No, it's Bob.
Well, that's why I
You're
put
right.
my
I was going to skip you because I felt like it, but, you know.
used to it. I basically skipped out this week anyway.
It's because he has no lower third, isn't it?
We'll forget.
Barely noticed
Who
you.
are you again? Why are you on our show?
Yes.
You've been hacked.
Get away from the backspace key, you.
All right. So yeah, this week I was pretty disappointed in the weird news. I looked for something interesting. I couldn't find a single story that really grabbed me. But what I did find out was there's a surprising variety of things you can get arrested for around Halloween.
Did you find that out the hard way?
Yeah. Well, no.
Yeah.
No.
He had a list and was trying every single one of them.
So the first thing I did was no. So the first thing you can do is to put methamphetamine in a child's trick-or-treat bag.
Oh my God.
This apparently happened at some point Friday in San
careless.
Francisco or outside San Francisco, as a father and her 8-year-old and his 8-year-old daughter went from house to house. They aren't sure exactly how or when it happened, and they discovered the 1/10 of a gram on Monday while the father was inspecting the candy. We know what he was doing. He was sneaking noms. But no arrests have been made. There was also a report, I saw Popat tweeted it, of someone finding razor blades in like a Snickers bar or something.
Someone actually did that for the first time ever?
No, Popat's reply was, boy, I hope they, I think, fingerprinted the parents. I think that was the comment.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
Okay.
in Alabama, an 18-year-old was arrested for robbing several Subway, sandwich shops. He was arrested after someone recognized the culprit on a video that the police had posted online. Zachary Raphael Torrance claimed that he had robbed the subways because he'd been on the subway diet and that it had failed him, and he deserved his money back. I'm actually kind of all for that. The police chief, however, isn't. He told the detective that he wanted his money back, and the detective felt like he was being serious. I believe he's like being held on some ridiculously high bond. So yeah. Let me see. Next, it turns out that you can be arrested for owning a dog. However, only if the dog betrays you and tells the cops where you are. In this case, Edwin Henderson of Alabama was fleeing the police who showed up with a warrant for his arrest on a drug charge. According to the story online, quote, Barlow, I guess the police spokesperson, says the chase began when 2 drug officers arrived Wednesday with a search warrant, and Henderson took off running. After an investigator pointed at Henderson and told the dog, "Go get him," that's what Bo did. Bo, the little snitch, happily wagged his tail when he found his master hiding in tall grass. Next. A Lehigh University student, if you could bring up the first image,
Really?
was arrested this weekend, dressed as Lala the Teletubby. His crime?
Is that Lala?
Stealing Chinese food from a friend's refrigerator and putting it in his man purse.
He's arrested for that?
That's
Well,
Tinky.
Yeah, I thought that was Tinky Winky.
He said he had a man purse. Yeah, that's what I'm sticking to. I'm not saying that this guy has
Issues?
Yeah, he may have issues. Actually, he just seemed to be drunk and hungry. He's apparently 310 pounds, large guy, and the reason he was arrested, the friends originally didn't want to press charges, but he apparently kind of broke down the door a little bit, and the landlord got involved, so then they decided they changed their minds. Therese S. Owens Jr. has been charged with criminal mischief and disorderly conduct in a Lala outfit. Next, I was surprised. I was
like an extra
surprised to hear
week
that was a crime.
Is there another $100 fine for the costume?
Actually, that's time off because it's hilarious. So,
next picture.
in Gora, Maine, this woman, if you could bring it up, 37-year-old Carrie Gibson was arrested for drunk driving after she was seen going in the wrong lane. She was dressed as Hello Kitty and refused to take a breath test. Let me see the next image. You bring up the next image. I want to see what that is. My favorite mugshot. Sad zombie is sad. Okay. This is 26-year-old Catherine Butler, who was arrested twice in 3 hours for drunk driving following a party Sunday at an upstate New York bar.
How is that possible?
That's what I asked, and it turns out that she'd been arrested and then picked up from the station by a friend, and then very cleverly got back behind the wheel while she was still drunk. Well done.
Kids gonna love her.
Yeah, unbelievable. And then lastly, in Clinton, Connecticut, a renter at an apartment found a drunken man sleeping next to him in bed who had not been there when he went to sleep. 26-year-old Tyler Sullivan was returning to his mother's apartment in the same complex, and he apparently got a little turned around. From the story, quote, a man in the home said he told Sullivan to leave, but Sullivan refused. Police say Sullivan was still there when officers arrived. According to the report, Sullivan was charged with trespassing and disorderly conduct and released on $1,000 bail.
So he pulled a Robert Downey Jr.
Basically.
Basically.
I almost did that once in my freshman year. I almost went into the wrong building because little drunken idiot. I tried to get into the law school to go to sleep, and that just didn't work out well. So, yep, tales of yesteryear. I kind of identify with these people.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. When you get in your Lala outfit and go driving.
It's true. Yeah, so that's it. We can do something else now.
Okay. Barbara, do you have a Lala outfit?
No, but I had a Tinky Winky outfit for a 5-year-old for several years. Connor was Tinky Winky when he was little.
Oh. It was for Connor.
No.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, he started wearing it when he was like 2 or 3. He could wear it for a couple of years.
I bet he was adorable.
It was adorable. I have pictures.
Looked like a penguin on wheels.
I'm going to embarrass him with him. I'm going to embarrass him with them.
Awesome. That's what they're for. That's what parents are supposed to do.
Yep.
I've been doing it my entire kid's life. So, you got something to share with us? Something about slime?
Yeah, we have no good transition here.
No, just Tinky Winky.
It's not so much about slime as it is about, well, yeah, I guess it's about slime.
Okay.
So yeah, I don't know if you guys have noticed the McDonald's commercials lately.
I saw
the ones
one.
that they're very bizarre. I mean, they basically have people walking up to an interactive poster that says your questions or our food, your questions, and people talk to the poster. And
Are they dressed as Lala?
No, not usually. Some of them are pretty interesting people, but
Posters show you pictures of Lala.
the commercials really set me off because they put me on edge a little bit. Any commercial that makes me not want to buy a product has that effect on me.
Any commercial? And just leave it there.
Yeah, well, some commercials are cute and funny, and some commercials actually make me, interested in a product. This does not make me interested in a product. So I've seen some other things on the internet about it recently, so I thought I'd write about it and talk about it. And I remember way back when the Parts is Parts commercials. Anybody remember those?
Yes, I remember that.
Parts is Parts.
Was it Frank Perdue?
It was Wendy's.
Chicken. Oh,
it was about chicken nuggets versus their chicken sandwich. Yeah, they did this cute little thing where Parts is Parts, where they implied that chicken nuggets were made of beaks and eyeballs and stuff, which is certainly not true. But it is true that McDonald's has had to deal with a lot of really ridiculous rumors over the years. There's the rumor, of course, that chicken McNuggets and other chicken items are made from leftover parts of the chicken. And they're not, at least not anymore. Since 2003, McNuggets and McDonald's have been made with breast meat. So it's all white meat.
So they're no longer cloaca?
Yeah. But the truth is that they never really were. I mean, that's kind of misleading. They were always meat. They're not... the
meat with a question mark?
McDonald's food is ground. It's ground beef and ground chicken. We eat ground beef, at home. If you use hamburger and anything, and but it's ground and then it's formed into shapes and et cetera, et cetera. So I think that's probably at the root of some of this stuff. But that's one of the rumors. Another rumor is that hamburgers are made from pink slime. There's no pink slime in McDonald's products anymore, and it was never true that pink slime was in everything, or that's all they used to make anything. That used to be a rumor that pink slime was everything at McDonald's was pink slime, and pink slime gets a bad rap anyway.
I I wondered why I didn't
Pink
like
slime
McDonald's anymore.
shakes awful though.
Does it? I don't know. I've never tasted pure pink slime, but I don't think I have anyway. But it gets a bad rap. It's not it's not this horrible stuff that's gonna burn your insides. So that's one of the rumors. Other rumors, that the hamburgers are made up from horse meat or eyeballs and lips.
That's actually true in the UK, but don't worry.
Yeah.
Well, we're not talking about the UK. I do have a caveat that we're talking about the US. But McDonald's hamburgers
Did frogs and snails
don't rot?
like it? No.
No, you know that they don't rot, right? They do rot, but they don't rot if you set one down on a counter and leave it. It's probably going to last a lot longer than if you slap some other hamburger, like you made in your kitchen next to it, because they're very thin and they're flat. They're flat and they've got a wide surface, and so they dehydrate very easily, and of course mold and bacteria can't grow without water. So they look like they don't ever rot. So a lot of people think that there's, McDonald's is just this horrible place that serves all kinds of chemicals and stuff like that in their food. So McDonald's apparently decided that they wanted to educate people about their food. So they started this campaign, and they have these commercials. And the commercials are basically just, you see the poster, and the poster says, "Our food, your questions," and then you see a bunch of people in succession walk up to the poster and ask it questions. You get questions like, does McDonald's even sell real food? What's really in your beef?
What happened to Grimace? I find that suspicious.
There are some like, how do you
Has
make
the
your
burglar ever been to jail?
How does he keep getting out?
What is Grimace made of?
That's a good question. Why is he purple?
Slime.
Purple slime.
Purple slime. I'm colorblind. Cut me some slack. Don't hate.
But these commercials really do, they really do show people doing that. They walk up and say, "Pink slime, what's up with that? What would you feed McDonald's to your own family?" Things like that. And that's it. That's the whole commercial. And
There's no answers?
There's no answers. They encourage people to go online to get the answers. And so, if you go online to look for them,
That
first of all,
seems stupid.
doesn't it seem really stupid? It is really stupid, I think. But let's delve into this a little further.
Does aspartame? It's like Coke, does aspartame make your brain rot? Go
Right.
online and find out.
Exactly. And so if you go online, if you go to their website, these videos are not prominent on their website, but if you go to their YouTube channel, you will find the answers to some of the questions. They hired former Mythbuster Grant Imahara to make these videos in which some of the questions are answered. Okay? And I have my doubts that this campaign will do any good for McDonald's. And here's
feel bad for Grant.
so you're not the first person to say that.
I'm guessing he's getting paid well.
Yeah.
Did
and
he
these
build
videos
the
are
robots that answer the questions?
the videos are actually pretty good quality, and they're done kind of Mythbuster style, where basically he goes and interviews people, and he takes people to the factory, and they look at how it's made. They go through the whole process. And how the
I
food
remember seeing him
But no
a couple of
robot.
months ago talking about he was going to some sort of factory to.
That's what he's doing. That's what these videos are. So
Yeah.
the commercials here's why I don't think this campaign is. What they do is they walk somebody through the process, show you how the meat is made, so that you can see that it's beef and that it's chicken and all of that. And they show the whole process of the meat going into the grinder, and then when it comes out and through the they show you how McRibs are made, how the patties are formed, the flash freezing process, and then they at the end they do the testing process where they make them just like they do in the restaurant, and then they eat them. So these videos are meant to be educational. They are debunking. They're exactly the kind of thing skeptics do, which is great for skeptics. If your goal is
But no
to educate
robots.
people, well, I don't know. There might be some robots in the factory, but they're great if your goal is to educate people about a particular myth. If your goal, however, is to sell hamburgers, I think they're going to have a problem. And here's why. I've got a few reasons why. One, the commercials are very off-putting. So they show the people asking the questions, but the answers aren't given, and this is problematic for a lot of reasons. First of all, it makes people think that other people think McDonald's is crappy, scary, or dishonest.
Yeah.
It makes it look like that's the public opinion, that the public opinion is that McDonald's is crappy, scary, or dishonest. That's clearly not the case, or they wouldn't be so successful. What was that, Brian?
What if that is public opinion?
I don't think that actually is. I think that some people...
It's confirming... I guess that's the point. It's like people confirming opinions you already have, or
right.
that kind of thing.
Well,
So
it's also if it's people tend to. I mean, we know from the literature and on anti-vax, for example, on how to convince people to vaccinate. This comes from a mountain of psychological literature that the best way to really get people to vaccinate their kids is to tell them that everybody else is doing it. So if people think that other people think McDonald's is crappy, scary, or dishonest, then that's the way they're going to see it. So
emphasizing negative elements too.
Yes, they're emphasizing negative elements.
People's minds.
And lots of the people watching these commercials may not have ever considered these questions before. They may not have ever heard that there were horse feet. What?
I'm not really feeling sorry for McDonald's, though.
I'm not feeling sorry for them either. But my point is that they're...
I'm loving it, by the way.
My point is that the campaign is not going to... the campaign's risky, and these are my reasons why they're risky. So
I mean, that company's, that's their decision. They chose to do bad commercials.
I'm not saying that I feel sorry for them. I'm saying that I'm just discussing why I think it's a bad choice.
Clearly, they hired the wrong ad agency. McDonald's, she's,
they've invested They've invested quite a bit in this campaign. So, first of all, they have these people showing up and saying that McDonald's is crappy, that it's scary, that it's dishonest.
Were they suffering that badly?
All right, please get to our segment.
Shut up, Bob. Oh, I guess I should shut up too. Okay, go ahead.
Actually, they have been suffering lately. They have been suffering a little bit lately, and part of it seems to be because of the pink slime thing. I think hit them pretty hard. But anyway, they have people showing up saying, "This is what I think." They don't have anybody in the commercials addressing that. They do encourage people to go online and find the answers. And when they do look for these answers, what they find are this series of videos that answers their questions. Some of them are hosted by Imahara. At the beginning of one of Imahara's videos, several people are shown talking to the interactive poster saying things like, "I think it's disgusting," and "can't eat at McDonald's based on what's in the food." So they're basically they're starting off, with this is why people hate McDonald's. So they're telling people hate McDonald's. I'm not sure where the videos are being promoted. They're posted to the McDonald's YouTube channel. They're not featured very prominently on their site. It looks like they're trying to rely on media, both mainstream and social, to carry the message to everyone, including those who have seen the commercials.
Yeah.
And I think that's a huge risk, don't you?
I think I saw one including Grant Imahara in it. I'm not sure where I saw it. It might have been in a theater.
Really? Oh,
yeah.
In the pre-roll where they show you promos for TV shows and Coke ads and stuff like that. It might have been when we went and saw Riff Tracks last week.
Huh.
Well, only us old people watch TV anymore.
Yeah, this
people
is true.
like 10 years younger than us and lower, they don't watch TV. They download their shows and they see on the internet all the time. So
yeah, and I didn't see the ad. I don't think I saw the ad on regular TV because we have a TiVo, so we skip all the ads.
We have a TiVo too, but we don't always skip the ads. And sometimes if it's something like Walking Dead, we might watch it live.
Right.
Something that you don't want to get spoilers. We'll watch either live or.
We watch it live. We pause it.
Spoilers,
We'll get some popcorn or go change the laundry.
We do a lot of that
back
too.
And skip the commercial. So. Yeah.
But that means that somebody's got to be vigilant about fast forwarding through the commercials, and we're not. So we're a little lazy that way. So
And apparently,
somewhere on the internet. I saw a headline say about McDonald's explains how McRib is made.
Yeah.
And I assumed that was, but I didn't watch it because I don't give a rat's ass.
Yeah. That's essentially
what do you think is in the burger?
I know.
Hopefully beef. But anyway, there are also some specific challenges to any honest, straightforward, skeptical approach that I doubt McDonald's has considered. And these are things that skeptical activists are pretty aware of. And I'm sure, given all the information I've said so far, you can guess what some of them are. Well, what the main one is. You want to give it a shot, Brian?
I know that people remember things whether they're true or not.
Yeah.
They tend to remember the when somebody tells them something is not true, they tend to remember it as true.
It's more that compared to.
What is that called?
It's called the propaganda. What you just described is called the propaganda effect.
There you go.
The general effect is called the familiarity effect. Okay, the familiarity effect is that we tend to favor things that are familiar versus unfamiliar. That's a very general thing.
Yeah.
So, like, if you're in the voting booth and you got to, say, pick from a list of judges or county supervisors or something like that, and you don't know any of their names, you'll go with the name that's most familiar. And that's why those lawn things work. Because the more familiar the name is, the more likely you are to favor it. A part of that, or a more specific version of that, is the propaganda effect. And the propaganda effect is that we tend to rate things that sound familiar as true, even if we've been told they're false.
Yep.
Because we may not remember that we were told that they were false. We don't remember the details about it. We just know that it sounds familiar. And a more specific version of that is something that skeptics should probably be familiar with, and that's called the backfire effect. And it is the propaganda effect in action when we're debunking something. So in order to debunk something, you first have to tell them what it is you're debunking, and they may not have heard it. And so if they don't remember that you debunked it, they might, the idea itself sounds familiar, and so they might think of it as true. And I think that's going to be a problem for this campaign, is that people will remember these questions as being true, you know, the whole pink slime thing and that the food's crappy and all of that, more than they're going to remember, oh yeah, that I learned how, and that's given, even if they watch the videos, I understand now that, no, it's 100% beef. But my bigger problem with it, by the way, if you bring up the first slide, it's a picture of somebody talking to one of these interactive things, and you can see the look on her face. She's not happy with McDonald's, and she's.
What's on that guy's shirt?
I have no idea because it's pixelated.
The fact that it's pixeled out makes me want to know what it is.
Isn't that Minecraft?
Yeah. He's a Minecraft.
No, that's the Sims. He must be naked.
That's right, he's a sim.
Okay, so my biggest problem with this whole campaign is that these videos, if you watch these videos, which are supposed to be the thing that convinces you that McDonald's food is great, well, they're really gross.
They're not gross to hipsters.
You know, I'm like you. I don't give a shit how they make the McRib. Because I don't eat the McRib, but
I thought you were talking about people.
I don't want to know what's in my hot dog, because I like hot dogs, and I don't want to not be able to eat them.
Apparently, there's rat feces in your hot dogs.
Don't say that. I don't want to know.
Because the FDA regulation for rat feces in your hot dog is not 0.
Yes, that's pretty much true for anything. So if you bring up the next slide, you'll see. Yeah. So that's Grant.
Oh my God, that's hideous!
And they're handling raw meat.
Sure.
And then show the next slide. They show the meat like going into.
Oh God, those are lungs. No.
No, that's
Grant's hand.
That's not Grant.
Himself cheap for parts.
And then they actually show, this is the McRib video, and they actually show, go to the next slide. This is, I think, the hamburger, how they make the hamburger video, or I don't remember if it's that or the McRib
This isn't an episode of Dirty Jobs?
It doesn't really matter.
This is gross. Okay, I know I am not alone here. Now, I know I'm really averse to this sort of thing. Like, I have a tough time cooking with meat because I have to trim everything off of it, and I don't like doing it. It's gross, and I can't eat anything with fat in it. And if I see somebody, you know, some people will just stick a chicken leg into their mouth and it'll come out clean. Yeah, I can't watch that, or I can't eat. So I know I'm particularly bad, but I also know
the
I'm
bones
not
that are in
alone.
T-bones. You have to get all the gristle out of the little corners and stuff.
No, you don't. You don't have to. You
Yes,
can
I
cut
weekly
out.
see someone
stuff.
eating salad, Barb.
What?
Salad is slaughter.
Yeah, just ignore him and go on.
So, I know. My point is, I know I'm not alone here. I know I'm not alone in thinking that I don't want to watch how the hamburgers are made, and watching how they're made is going to make me less likely to buy one.
Yeah.
So I think they're taking a huge risk here, and I don't know that it's gonna all shake out well for them.
It is McDonald's.
Yeah, I mean, but
See, that's
I don't
all
know.
I
I
have to
think
say
I'm
to
gonna lose some
reinforce the
people.
stereotype.
I don't think they're gonna convince people who think that their food is gross. I mean, that their food is. I don't think they're gonna convince people who aren't eating McDonald's now because they think that it's all pink slime. I don't think they're gonna convince them to eat them by watching this. I think they're gonna turn off some customers who might, like me, who might occasionally have McDonald's, even though the quality is not great.
I only go to McDonald's for the fries.
I love the fries.
Yeah, I don't eat their hamburgers.
I don't even want to know how the fries are
Burger
made.
person anyway, so
What was that?
I'm not really a big burger person.
Yeah.
I like a good burger, but
Yeah, I'm gonna go
good
for a
one.
burger. I'm gonna go somewhere that makes a good burger. I'm not
McDonald's,
gonna buy
like
it.
if you're in a hurry and that's what there is, I usually get fish sandwiches when I go there anyway. But you can't really see the burger on the bun. I like that.
Yeah, they make fish sandwiches out of white slime.
Yeah. No, even worse. I think it might be made out of fish.
Yeah.
It just might be.
Mine's got a tentacle in it. I don't know what's going on.
So
Okay.
kudos for the debunking. I think that's awesome. But I don't think they should be the ones doing it, and I don't think it's a really good idea to sell hamburgers.
Okie doke. That sounds like a thing.
Well put.
Thanks, Barb. That was so. Go check out Grant Imahar at the bottom of his career in a McDonald's factory.
He's still young. He
Yes.
can come back.
He's gonna come back and he's gonna have a
I don't think he's even pumpkin
McRib
chunkin'.
robot. What?
You don't think he's what?
Pumpkin chunkin'? Isn't that pumpkin chunkin'?
Chunkin?
They do the...
Yeah.
I think that was the other two who did it this year.
Yeah.
Carrie and
Gary and Byron. No.
Byron.
Carrie and Byron.
That's her last name, guys. So, okay, that's all of our stuff for this episode, and we're running long. So let's do the wrap up.
We are running.
Trivia question. Did anybody get the trivia question? I think someone did.
Yeah, right around the same time, Howard was getting super close. He said,
Yeah, I think he was asking us if it was anybody with a name that started with F.
yeah, he said Fran or Franny, I think. Francis. No,
Or was it M
not
or
Frank.
S?
Oh crap!
That's
But
what it's
unfortunate-
about feedback.
So he was trying to do the cold read on us.
Yeah, well, yeah, basically he was doing.
Oh,
doing
you don't
cold
play
read
a
impression.
player.
But Pierre got it right in the YouTube comments.
Yeah, I saw that.
The answer is that Sylvia Browne's spirit guide was named Francine.
Francine used to post for a while on the JREF forums.
She what on the JREF forums?
She was a member of the JREF forums.
Oh.
The spirit
Francine.
guide.
You wouldn't know anything about that?
No, I don't know.
Okay.
No, it did actually appear to be someone who had inside knowledge.
Oh, interesting.
Interesting. Wow.
But she posted in the character of Francine.
Ah.
Nice.
Okay, so let's see. Someone got half of the videos behind me. Alpha did say that one of them is the Road Warrior, and yes, one of them is the Road Warrior. Yeah, the one that's. Yep. So that's on my. Let's see, that's my right hand. So it's on my left is a Road Warrior, and it's the opening chase scene, kind of repeating back because it's really cool. And the guy pulls the air out of his leg. It's awesome. And very awkward. The other one, which I don't know if it's still playing, it might be frozen right now.
Frozen.
Frozen.
10 minutes in.
That is a clip from the movie Terry 2000, which is this incredible love story of a man and his robot.
I remember that movie.
So go check that one out. No one got that one. I'm sorry. So you don't get the extra seconds of us thinking you're awesome.
Admiration. Yeah.
Yes. There you go. That means it's going to be book time, but we got announcements. Tim, you want to do announcements?
Oh, yeah. Remember 2 weeks ago I was talking about Brains Fallout and Open Mind and who created that quote?
Story of the phrase. Yeah, it's
My
very
epic blog post based on that discussion went up on Insight yesterday. So if you want to see all the details with better copyright-approved pictures of all the main characters. And since after I did that show, the library actually sent me a scan of the script from the guy's speech, so I have his actual handwriting where he wrote it out.
Oh, fantastic.
awesome.
That's cool.
Yeah, and I have them scanning some other stuff, trying to find out if he used it in other speeches or what the deal was.
Interesting.
But anyway, Saturday is the 75th anniversary of Walter Kochnick using that quote. So read all about it on Insight.
Awesome. And this happened.
Bob's celebrating Movember.
Yeah, that was quick, Bob.
Yes. I thought that was a tail of a cat.
It's only November.
Did you see it going by earlier?
Did you cut one of your cat's tails off?
Yeah. Poor baby. Oh.
Yes. Okay, so book time.
I
Y'all
got
got books. Barbara, why don't you go first this time?
Okay. Linear regression is the simplest statistical procedure that gains from geometric visualization. In turn, bivariate regression is the simplest version of this procedure. Although all visualization in bivariate regression is easily done with a scatter plot in variable space, the subject space picture is worth examining, particularly the aspects of it that do not change when one introduces multiple predictors. As a bonus, the geometry gives a natural way to develop the regression formula.
Eve?
Two aspects of the Paleolithic record may relate to the religious beliefs of the people: burials and art. The tendency of human beings to dispose ceremonially of their dead is one of the distinguishing marks of the species, separating them from other animals. It appeared in Europe about 80,000 years ago. It is not itself a guarantee of the existence of religion in the strict sense of a belief in divine beings, but it does indicate either a belief in a journey to an afterlife or in the power of ancestral spirits to haunt the living.
Bob's mustache.
This one I'm going to dedicate to Barb. The carcass hog was scooped out of the vat by machinery, and then it fell to the second floor, passing on the way through a wonderful machine with numerous scrapers, which adjusted themselves to the size and shape of the animal. and sent it out at the other end with nearly all its bristles removed. Then again strung up by machinery and set upon another trolley ride, this time passing between two lines of men who sat upon a raised platform. One with a swift stroke cut the throat, another with two swift strokes severed the head, which fell to the floor and vanished through a hole. Another made a slit down the body, blah blah, breastbone, blah blah, nightmare. Occasionally there's people in spam.
Because I complained about you interrupting me, isn't it?
Yeah.
A little bit.
And then McRib. Okay. Tim.
People often tell me that academics have no choice but to write badly because the gatekeepers of journals and university presses insist on ponderous language as proof of one's seriousness. This has not been my experience, and it turns out to be a myth. In stylish academic writing, no, it's not one of the world's thinnest books, Helen Sword masochistically analyzed the literary style in a sample of 500 articles in academic journals and found that a healthy minority in every field were written with grace and verve. In explaining any human shortcoming, the first tool I reach for is Hanlon's razor. Never attribute to malice that which is adequately explained by stupidity. The kind of stupidity I have in mind has nothing to do with ignorance or low IQ. In fact, it's often the brightest and best informed who suffer the most from it.
The mainstream media has always been focused on sexy over substance, drama over facts, on what the scary Muslim next door might be plotting, which dishwashing liquid might kill you, or how the scary Muslim next door will use dishwashing liquid to kill you, while not reporting on what should actually be terrifying us. But their shallow coverage accelerated in 1996 when an insane Australian mogul named Rupert Murdoch bought Fox News Channel and a 24-hour news station. Thus began not only Murdoch's foray into media empire construction, but also the birth of round-the-clock political propaganda channels masquerading as news. What's your book, Barb?
The Geometry of Multivariate Statistics by Thomas Wickens. Sorry for the thick stuff, but it is a fantastic book, by the way. Absolutely.
Is he a mathematical witch?
He is a wondrous person.
Yeah. He's a warlock of magic. No, mathematics. Go ahead. Mathematics. Go ahead, Eve.
The Pagan Religions of the Ancient British Isles, Their Nature and Legacy by Ronald Hutton.
Does that come in paperback?
What?
Does that come in a pop paperback size? No.
Yeah. Is it paperback?
It is paperback. I was kind of surprised it's paperback. Bob, what's your book? I want to know.
I had something else lined up, but after the Granty Mahara thing, I went straight to Up to the Jungle.
Which was mentioned. It was mentioned on Twitter. Yes.
Someone
Eric
mentioned the Jungle on Twitter. Eric.
Yep. Tim, what's your book?
Steven Pinker's new book, The Sense of
Hey.
Style.
Yeah.
Copy.
Yeah,
Nice.
that was totally Pinker.
I haven't got that one yet.
Yeah, I recognized it.
Mine is called Newsfail. Actually, it's hashtag Newsfail by Jimmy Kilstein and Allison. Yeah. They are podcasters as well, and he's a funny guy. He's just kind of a neat, funny guy. He's on TV all the time, but yeah, very, very, very right-wing, vegetarian, but interesting guy. And great tattoos too. But yeah, I have just only started this book. I just got it. It just came out, so I'll let you know if it's any good. That's all of us, and that's the show, I guess. Isn't it? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Do we dance now? Okay.
Shave.
Thank you, everyone, for watching. And here's the logo, and here's the music. Guess I got something to say. Oh, there it is. Virtual Skeptics is an independent production of whatstheharm.net, Skeptical Humanities, myself, ICBS Everywhere, and Doubtful News, and probably some other things I forgot. Our logo is designed by StarMania.com, and our theme music is by Musicant and used with permission. If that list gets any longer, I will not be able to fit it into the music. I'm just saying. Thanks for watching.